Who could Virgil van Dijk be talking about? Let's start with the positive. He still thinks this could be a very special season. Could you see that?
Yes. I think the only way this becomes a special season is if Liverpool win the Champions League. I don't think winning the FA Cup is enough for a team who won the title the season before and then spent 450 million on new players. But Liverpool look a lot better in the Champions League than they do in the Premier League because the team is not fully equipped to go and win the Premier League right now. They can't handle the physicality that comes with the Premier League, but in the Champions League it's a different beast. And then once you get into the knockout stage, you get Anfield roaring on the front foot. Liverpool have a really good chance in the Champions League.
Daniel, do you think former players, top players, have a responsibility to the current generation?
Yeah, they do. I think I agree with him.
What's the top player though? Can we?
Well, if you don't think you won, then that's on you. I'm merely saying, I include myself in that. And I'm saying, for me, I think we do, because we've been the other side of it. We've experienced it. I experienced it as a player, and it don't feel good.
What impact did it have on you? Criticism and outside noise?
I mean, as you said, there's a difference between criticism, constructive criticism and disrespect, and it depends on the level at which we believe, as the people on the other side, what we believe to be disrespectful, and how the player takes it is down to them. For me, I try to operate in a way of saying, like, how would I feel in this situation or in the moment? Because we've all been there, and I agree with him. We've all been there. We've all faced highs, lows in different moments within our careers, and it's important for us to give people the nuance, what it feels like to be in the dressing room, what it feels like to be when you're low, when you've had injuries, all of those things. Those are the perspectives that we all have shared throughout our careers. So I do agree with him. You know, we have a duty to the next generation, not just the current players, but the players after them as well. And how we go about that, everybody's different. So.
Well, there's your man there. You criticised me when I was at Villa. At Villa, I had an absolute stinker. It was against Liverpool. I think we lost 6-0. And you said I wouldn't sign any of the Villa players.
Did anyone sign you?
No. No, there's a couple of things. But I think, you know, it was tongue-in-cheek. I think he's got a point. But I think because his standards have been so high and then they fell off, then people are going to criticise. I don't think we intentionally try to disrespect. I never do anyway. I never go personal. But for where Liverpool were last season, winning the league, to where they are now, we try to be constructive.
Nobody likes to be criticised. But talking about when he mentioned the word top players, but the really good players are usually their biggest critics anyway. You know, you criticise yourself for your performances. And we were praising Liverpool all last season. Liverpool outstanding, absolutely brilliant. But when this time of the season, and when you're 17 points worse off than the league leaders, then you're going to be criticised. I think you have to suck it up. Yeah, I think there's always worry if it gets personally. I can see players getting upset. But when you're criticising Liverpool's team for being a bit open, or you know, the amount of games they've lost, the way they lost at Bournemouth recently, guess what? You're going to get criticised. Because last year, when you're doing really well, and you're celebrating 5-6 games to go, and you're going off to Ibiza for weeks, and you're going, no, you lay off the players a little bit, that even though you mightn't like it, because you're turning up and you're winning the league. But when you're not, and you're so far off it, like they were a number of years ago, I've said it and I'll say it again, they've been really bad champions, really bad in terms of the league. Yeah, they're still in Europe and the FA Cup, whatever, but in their league performances, they are going to be criticised because they're so far off it. It's very hard to win the league. It's harder to win it back to back. But when you're so many points off the top team, you are going to be criticised.
You accept that, Jamie? They've been bad champions?
Yes. Roy said that 4 or 5 years ago, didn't you, on the last one? And I didn't agree with that. And the reason I say that at the time, Liverpool had, I think 4 centre-backs out. They had kids at the back. But I think when you're saying it this season, Roy, I totally agree with you. You know, let's not forget that what Liverpool did in the summer wasn't just to sort of, you know, strengthen the squad. It was to put themselves in a position to do what City have done the last few years, where you end up winning 3 leagues in 5 years. You know, something like that. It wasn't a case of, we're just happy with 1 league title. Because, as I said, what City had done, what Manchester United had done before, maybe what Chelsea had done, that this has almost felt the time. Liverpool supporters felt, I felt it in the summer, you know, this is our time to go on and sort of dominate the league for the next 3 or 4 years. And that hasn't happened. So, as I said, yeah, definitely take that.
If you win the league and the following year you're struggling to get into the Champions League position, which obviously is the top 5, then that is a big drop-off. That is on the players. There'll obviously be, we argued a few weeks ago, there'll obviously stuff going on and you're waiting for new players to settle in. There can be injuries. But that's all part of the challenge of being a big football club. And we, again, when we do Liverpool games, Liverpool one of the biggest clubs in the world. So part of their challenge is to deal with them challenges. And they've not done it very well.
So is that criticism justified right now, Daniel?
Which criticism?
Criticism that we're talking about of Liverpool as bad champions.
Well, again, we
17 points off.
we talked about the circumstances, the injuries that they've had to deal with, off the field stuff that everybody's well aware of. There's mitigating circumstances that are at play here. So whilst I do agree, the money being spent, the expectations of the fan base and people within the club would have been, okay, we can kick on here, but it's not worked out that way. That's just the reality of the situation. So if you want to look at the blanket statement of, are they bad champions? Well, yeah, if they don't win it again, you are bad champions. The thing for me in terms of the criticism, I think there's a difference again between criticising the team and to what Virgil was talking about being personal. Those are things like get rid of players. No, but hold on, but getting rid of players and, you know, he's not good enough for this and things like that. That's not. I don't know if that's our call to. I don't know if that's what
bad champion if they're fighting for second or third spot and they're putting Arsenal under huge pressure week in, week out. But to be 17 points off, that's a huge drop off. That's not a little drop off. Listen, it could be worse by the end of the season. That's my issue. I know it's hard to win a league title. It's harder to win it back to back. But when you're so far off it, that's my issue. Not that they're not winning the league, but to be so far off it.
Second place is first last, though, isn't it? You know, at the end, right? At the end, is we could talk about, unless you win the league the next year, to me, you're a bad champion. It doesn't matter if you finish second, you don't win it. Like, I mean, come on.
We can reflect a little bit more with lots of time after the game today, and maybe Liverpool can make very positive noises here by beating Manchester